I was in Chicago years ago, and I was canvassing as a colporteur, selling Bible readings from Home Circle. And we come to one great big mansion where the folks were rich in that area, and cars all around it and so forth. But I went up the door, and I was pretty sure this fellow was Catholic, so I gave him a Catholic canvas. And he invited me in, and then as soon as he got in, he turned the key in the door, and I said, wait a minute, what am I getting into? He opened another door into a great big mammoth parlor and a great big mammoth dining room with double doors in between, and all seated around the whole business was prelates, some from Europe and all the big ones from America. They were planning the Eucharistic Congress in Chicago. That was way back in the 1920s. And when they started talking to me, they tried to get me to be one of them and offered me every kind of a conceivable opportunity that you could think of. They offered me everything, money, scholarship, and the whole works, and told me the advantage of being Catholic and what they were planning on doing in America and with America. They said, we're going to take over America, and we've already got it fixed, so know how in the world can they escape becoming under our authority, and where we'll be in the jurisdiction and take over. I said, well, how are you going to take over the South? It's predominantly Protestant. It says we're going to seed the South with Catholic families, and then when they marry into the Protestants, their children will be raised Catholic, and before long we'll have a quarter, and then we'll have a third, then we'll have over half, and when we get over half, we've got America. That's one way of doing it. But it says that we've got other ways too. Well, I says, supposing all this was known, and the people, Protestants, knew this, he said, if they knew what we were planning on doing, there'd be bloodshed in 24 hours, and lots of it in 48. I says, are you prepared to take over in case that happens? He said, yes, we have our standing armies. We have everything all prepared with guns, ammunition, and the whole works. And said, we can take over, and you might as well join us and be with us and get in on the right side of the fence. I said to him, I said, listen, there is nothing you can do to inveigle me to become a Catholic. I mean, nothing. I says, I know my horse is going through to eternity, and I'm riding on it. And I know your horses aren't, and I know that you'll be nonplussed entities when I'll be enjoying eternity and having a good time forever. And I'm going to see to it that I'm on the right side of the fence. And I know which side I'm on now. And I said, you might as well open the door and let me out, because I know that other people know that I'm in here, and there'll be investigation made if you don't let me out. One of the big fellows with a red cardinal hat got up and said, sir, he says, we're going to let you out. But we want you to know one thing, that everybody that's born in the United States that's not born a Catholic is on a card. You're put on a white card to begin with and kept on a white card until we feel like that we need to watch you. After that, we put you on a blue card and said after you're on a blue card for a while, if we feel like that we just assumed you wasn't existing, you're on a red card. Son, from now on, you'll be on the red card as long as you live. And I know they know me where I'm living and have followed me all around throughout life. They're still doing it. And, well, I could tell you a lot of stories, but that's just one.
Yes, it was in 1967 when a friend of mine came to me very excitedly. He told me that he was doing some colporteur work in Indiana, and while knocking on different doors to gain entrance, he was invited into a home very quickly, and he wondered how come he didn't have to use his door openers. When he went in, the fellow who had invited him into his home said, I know who you people are. And he said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, let me show you something here. And he moved aside a rug from his flooring there, and under that rug was a door. He lifted up the door, and here were stairs that went down into a basement. And he said, I would like to show you something. So they went down into the basement, and this individual whose home he was in showed him just many files. And as he was looking at these files, he wondered what it meant. He says, well, he says, we know who you are, and I would like to ask you a question. Name me a name of somebody who belongs to your church. And so he said, okay. He named him a name, one of his girlfriends. And this man went to a file, picked out that name, and said this person was baptized on such and such a date, a member of such and such a church, etc. And my friends said his eyes got very large, and he says, well, what does this mean? How come you have this information here? This fellow said, well, I belong to the Catholic Church. I belong to a special order, and we have all of you on files in different parts of the country. This is the file that we have on your members of your church here. We know who you are, and we have more complete records on you than I believe you people have for yourself. He said, I just wanted you to see that so you would know that we know who you are. Well, my friend left that home. He didn't sell any books, but I think he became a more serious thinking individual after that.